Hey, everybody. Welcome to Soapy. I'm Rebecca Budig.
And I'm Greg Rikaart.
And today we have an actor from General Hospital who I worked with.
Yes, Mr. Donnell Turner, who recently... I can't speak. I have a case of the Rebeccas today. Who recently celebrated... No, remember you had that whole day?
I think we should use this.
Okay. Who recently celebrated 10 years playing the role of Curtis Ashford. I'm back. I can speak now.
He played Curtis. I played Hayden Barnes, and we actually were buddies on the show.
If I'm not mistaken, you were either his first or one of his very first scene partners.
Yeah, I was his first. I think I was his first. He calls me his first. I kind of like it. But anyway, so I was with him when he started on that show. And I'm so excited that he's been there for 10 years.
10 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah, he's a remarkable man.
He really is.
And I'm really, really looking forward to this interview.
The amazing, gorgeous Donnell Turner here. Hi.
Hello.
I'm so excited to see you.
I'm so excited to be here and to see you again.
Curtis Ashford on General Hospital. For those that don't know, I was on General Hospital as well, and I played Hayden, and I was like best buds with Curtis.
That's right. The funny thing about that was before I knew I got the job, a script arrived. Remember when they used to deliver scripts?
Yes, I remember
I
those
know
days.
the story.
Yeah, and a script arrived at my door, and I thought, I guess this means I got the job. And but nobody told me anything, so I didn't know if I was Curtis or Hayden. And so I just learned everybody's lines. I didn't know who I was.
God,
Nobody had told me, so that was great.
Yeah, I can't believe that you have been on this show for 10 years.
Yeah. Goes by quickly.
Wait, I'm sorry. That's literally how you found out you got the job? The script arrived at your house?
Yes.
Well, no. Originally, he had auditioned for another part that went to Anthony Montgomery, if I'm not mistaken. And they loved him so much they created a role for him. But you know how it is. They say, we're going to create a role for you, and then you don't hear anything. So you're kind of like, you never know if it's really going to happen. And it really happened.
And it really happened. I was at my day job. Not to be too graphic, but I was in the bathroom. Phone rang, and I see my agent's name. And I'm thinking, well, I kind of been auditioning for something. Maybe I should pick it up. And she says, well, you didn't get the job. And I said, yeah, I kind of figured that. It's been a month. And then she says, but, the network loved you, and they're creating a character. And I couldn't have been more excited. And yeah, I don't remember the rest of the day. I think I was floating after that.
Yeah, that's pretty remarkable.
And then when they hired me, they said, hey, we like your earrings, we like your beard, and just tell our story, but use your words. And I thought, oh, wow, that's kind of cool. So I had a little bit of autonomy, a little bit of creative freedom.
Yeah.
To take words like, hey, let's skedaddle and say, let's get up out of here and put things in my own vernacular. Yeah.
I remember that.
First episode, they had me with a cigar, and I was supposed to be scruffy, and they didn't have a plan.
I don't remember the cigar business. I know you've talked about it before, but why do I not remember that?
And they used to have our wardrobe, and they would have this cigar in a plastic bag with my wardrobe every day. And I had to tell them, listen, I don't want to endorse this. My brother and my dad, they were trying to stop smoking, and I don't want to be on TV doing the same thing, even though it is a cigar. But I remember the day one, the lines had me scruffy, and you were supposed to say something about how downtrodden I looked or whatever, and you said, look at this man. He doesn't look like this. I'm not saying these lines. He looks like a model. That's what you said.
I did?
And the writers came out, and they changed it right then that day.
Well, you do look like a model.
Thank you.
You do.
I did model for a lot of years, yeah.
And also commercial work before,
Commercials, yes.
I'm also really curious about your semi-pro basketball career. And will you tell us a little bit about that?
Man, it was in my blood. The good Lord blessed me with the ability to jump really high, run really fast. And so I was dunking a ball in 8th grade. And I was blessed to play to go to a lot of camps and to play in some semi-pro summer leagues and things like that. And I ruptured my Achilles, and that was the end of it. But there was a basketball player in the 70s and 80s named Dr. J, Julius Erving. And he made a movie. He was the first athlete I saw make a movie. It was called The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh. And I thought, wow, it's possible to do both.
To do both.
And so from that moment, I think I was 9 or 10, and I just wanted to do both since then.
But when you had your injury, did you think to yourself, like in that moment, like, this is the end of that? Or do you think, because I think what I'm getting at is, if something happened to you that potentially put your acting career or your hopes to be a professional actor in jeopardy, you don't seem like the type of person that would have just given up. So
No.
do you think that instinctively you knew that that was not the path?
Yes. I think at that time I was 27, and I knew that an injury of this nature at this age, and I'm not professional already, it's the good Lord's way of telling me course correction. Yeah. And so, it took a while, but I knew that my hoop dreams were over.
Yeah.
But it didn't stop you from pursuing martial arts.
No, martial arts is always going to be there for me, one way or another.
Yeah.
And there's just so much to it. I love it so much. I mean, I think I've talked to you at length about it, but
yeah.
I trained in Thailand, Muay Thai, and I'm skinny, I'm long and lean, so I knew I had to take up wrestling. So I just loved wrestling so much. In my opinion, it is the most effective martial art. American, freestyle, collegiate, whatever, wrestling.
Really?
Over kung fu, all of this other stuff. Yeah.
Why?
Wrestlers dictate where the fight goes.
Oh, yeah.
So if we're outside, I don't care any kind of techniques you know. If someone can pick you up and slam you on the concrete, the fight's over.
Good point. My son will be thrilled to hear that.
Oh, he wrestles.
Yes.
Oh,
I mean, not for
already.
school yet. Like right now, he's just in that phase where he likes watching WWE.
Okay.
And I did not grow up watching wrestling.
I didn't either.
But I also know
does
the
this one
value.
look like a wrestler?
I judge no
There's one answer to that.
Well, that's true. That is true. He could be.
Could be.
There, but I know the value in roughhousing and just the way in which he's calm after he gets that energy out. But it's tricky because we always try and say to him, what you're seeing is some of it's real and a lot of it's not. But
Right.
But there is structure in it also. And
Yeah, I didn't really get into the WWE because it's soaps.
yes, yeah.
It's soaps.
You know, there are soap writers. Were you going to say that? Go ahead.
I didn't know that.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say there are podcasts, and the podcasts, because I've done a few, and it's soaps and wrestling.
Oh.
And I thought that was a weird pairing until I realized that there is a through line, and now I'm learning what you just said.
There is, because I used to host for Raw. Wasn't it the WW? Was it WWF then or WWE? I don't know. WWF
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
Wait, but tell the story of.
And then, so I was on All My Children, and I was working a lot at that time, and I got this side gig. I hosted on the side just to make extra cash and whatever, and I liked it, and so they hired me to host Raw live on MTV. Okay, I get a call from.
Was it Linda McMahon?
No, it was Stephanie McMahon.
Oh, the Stephanie McMahon.
Vince's daughter.
Sure.
And I probably shouldn't say this. I don't know. And I don't think I've told the story except for personal, and you're telling me to tell it. But she called me and she goes, Vince doesn't think you know the product. And I'm like, I don't, because I'm just me. But they kind of wanted me to be like an actor in the whatever they had going on. It was like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, and there was this thing, and I had to know who these people were. And I'm like, I don't have time to watch wrestling. I'm working and memorizing lines. It was terrible. I mean, it was fascinating, but it is a whole thing. It's not.
But the through line is there, and there are soap writers who have left writing on soaps to go write for WWE.
Wow, really?
That's
I
pretty
didn't know
fantastic.
that.
I didn't know that either.
But it makes, as you're saying,
does
that
make sense.
the through line is consistent.
Well, let's talk about General Hospital. You were a fan. I mean, this is like ADD conversation. We go all over the place.
Love it.
But you were a fan of the show growing up. Your mom watched the show. Your sweet mom, rest in peace. And so it's funny because I grew up watching All My Children. So I know the same feeling.
Sure.
Walking into the studio, seeing these people that you grew up, like when I saw Susan Lucci, I was like, what?
Yeah.
What is happening? And so it was a similar experience for you.
Oh, yeah.
You got to meet Anthony Geary. I don't know that you had any scenes with him,
Never
did you?
had scenes with him, but we hung out at the Emmys.
Yeah.
And he already knew who I was. And he took me to his side and he just gave me all of these, anecdotes and things like that. He told me when he started, his first critique was that he looked like Mr. Magoo meets olive oil. And I'm going to leave that there. Okay. But he was able to work past it. And he just told me, you're not really, my character back then was more of a anti-hero, right? I mean, wasn't a bad guy, wasn't necessarily a good guy.
Yeah.
And so he just gave me all these nuggets. And it was the first time I had been starstruck at that level. I mean, there's a picture of us and my eyes are red because I'm not going to say crying, but,
Emotional.
I was all
That's
misty.
okay, yeah.
I was verklempt or whatever they call it.
That's okay, yeah.
And he was just wonderful.
He's kind of a powerful person, Anthony Geary. He played Luke Spencer on General Hospital, for those who don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was fun to watch them when I was a kid. We would come in from outside, make our peanut butter and jelly, and watch General Hospital.
What was it specifically about that show that drew you in and made you a fan when you were young?
Grandma watching it growing up, and then you see these compelling storylines. You don't know what they mean. You see pretty people. I remember the stares. I used to think, why do they always stare before a commercial break? If I was on that, I wouldn't do that. It was just interesting. Yeah, cut to trying to do the best stare with the eyebrow. And it was just interesting to me. And remember, Jack, I thought I had a crush on everybody. Holly, Jackie Zeman.
Yes.
And then there was Demi Moore was on there for a while, Jackie Templeton. Yeah. And it was just hard. And then when Finola Hughes came on, the accent and everything, she would say, Robot. And as a kid, I just loved that. Yeah. And so for me, it was interesting. And mind you, at that time, we were limited to 3 channels or something like that.
I know.
We were relegated to 3 channels. But that's not to take anything from the writing and the acting, because it was fun back then. And now, talking and getting to know some of those actors, they were winging it a lot. There was a lot of that was freestyle, off script, and they had fun. And even that's not my story to tell, but yeah, there was a lot of it that was just freestyle, off the cuff, and they had fun.
And I know you mentioned that you can sometimes look at the dialogue and sort of put it into your own words, but do you feel like you freestyle, or do you kind of stick to the words that are there, or a combination of both?
I definitely want to honor the writer's talent and their work. At the same time, and I've said this many times, if they write, let's skedaddle, I'm probably not going to say skedaddle. It's inconsistent.
You sound good when you say it.
It's fun to say. Just not on the show. And so I'll say something like, let's get up out of here. Yeah. We had an episode where I got so much attention.
Memory. Yes. What was it?
Do you remember?
No, tell me.
I was waiting for you. Leather jacket outside of one of the clubs. I forgot what it's called.
Something.
And the line was, where have you been? I'm freezing out here. And I added, I'm freezing my black ass off.
Yeah. I remember you added things like that all the time, and I loved it. Speaking of which, you have the first real Black legacy family on General Hospital, and that's got. I'm going to tell a little story, and I don't know if I'm getting this correct because I have a horrible memory, but I remember you were kind of new to the show, and you're like, we don't have off for MLK Jr. Day, and you're like, I don't do that, and I was so impressed by you because you went up to Frank and you said, I know I'm scheduled to work, but I'm not working. I don't work that day, and he honored that.
Yeah.
Well, I just loved you for it. I loved you for it. I thought it was just, I don't know, admirable.
I was new, and I guess I had nothing to lose except a contract. But there was not much skin in the game. So I wanted to set my boundaries early. Mm-hmm. And I said, Frank, I haven't worked on this day in 12 years. It is, in fact, a national holiday.
It is.
And I said, I'd be more than happy to work on Columbus Day. But on this particular day, since it is a national holiday, if not for, just me, but all people of color, maybe we get this day off. And I appreciate him receiving that. His eyes got really big, and he made the adjustment. And to this day, the whole show's dark since then. And that day I did work, but I was wrapped at 9:00. I told Frank I was the Grand Marshal at the Inglewood Day Dr. King Parade. And funny story with that one, I don't want to be too long-winded, but I was able to get off and go to the parade. I was Grand Marshal, so you know you're doing this in the back of a car. We marched to the Forum, and I got to sing on stage with Stevie Wonder.
Wow.
I mean, what?
Yeah, so I have that story.
How was that?
Also a funny story.
Tell us.
So Stevie wanted to march from the church we started at. So Stevie marched. I'm in the back of the car because I wanted the full Grand Marshal experience. Stevie marched and sung. I didn't know the song Happy Birthday was made for Dr. King.
Oh,
You didn't know that?
I didn't know
I
that.
didn't know that.
I do. I
And
did.
he told Coretta Scott that we're going to make this a national holiday. So that was that, you know.
Yeah, he used that song to try and make it a national holiday.
So that was his doing. And so when we get there, I think I heard Happy Birthday. You know, I think I'm good on that song for a while because it was just over and over and over.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And so by the time we get there, Stevie goes on stage. There's like 3,000 people in the parking lot of the Forum because it was a job fair and it was a big event. And they said, now we want to introduce the Grand Marshal. Stevie stopped singing. And there were two officers blocking the stage. They wouldn't let me on. And my publicist says, well, he's the one they're calling right now. And they're looking at each other like, we don't know this guy, but we're not going to let him on. I said, sir, I'm wearing the thing that says Grand Marshal. So they said, oh. So while we were negotiating with the officers to let me on stage, the stage is quiet with Stevie and a microphone. He had given the microphone to a PA or whoever's on stage, right? So by the time I make my way up on stage, I see everyone. I'm getting ready to go, Happy Dr. King Day, everybody. I'm about to put my swag on it. Man, Stevie had heard enough. Silence. I can't imagine what that was like for Stevie Wonder to be on a stage, not knowing what's going on, but it's quiet.
Yeah.
Right.
That's his workshop, right?
Yeah.
And so a quiet stage and a microphone, So all I know is when I got the mic from the young lady, I got ready to do my thing. Stevie snatched the microphone from me and he said, give me that. And he said something that I probably shouldn't say, but he said it really quickly, give me it, like that. And I was like, and then I had to play it off in front of all these people like, and I didn't know what to do. And in a nanosecond, I thought, play it off like this is what y'all do. So I just laughed, threw my head back, threw my arm around him. And while he started singing, I just sung the song with him with my arm around him. I was mortified. And I left thinking, man, Stevie's an asshole. Sorry, excuse my language. I was like, wait a minute, that's not what I expected. And then I started thinking, just right after I thought that, I thought, wait a minute, there's no shame from getting the microphone snatched from you by Stevie Wonder on stage.
No.
Like there's no shame being knocked out by Mike Tyson or being dunked on by Michael Jordan or being outdanced by Baryshnikov.
Oh my God.
So for me, I took it as a win.
Speaking of this family that you have on General Hospital, you get to work with the wonderful Vernee. Is it Watson? Watson, yes. I got to meet her, I think, briefly when I was there for like a little 6-month stint. She's amazing. She plays your aunt. And?
She's wonderful. She's like my aunt in real life. She's caring and she's just present. She's there for me. We say I love yous, things like that. Personal stuff, all of that. And I even brought her with me to Atlanta. We did some event together. And from that moment on, the trust was set. She's wonderful, consummate professional, loves to rehearse, and she truly is the matriarch of the family.
Yeah.
I mean, we all get along pretty much, the Ashfords, we all pretty much get along like family.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. I think that's a recurring theme that comes on the show is like when there's the greater family of the show that you work on, and all of these shows are families, but also within each show there are your core families, and there is a bond amongst the members of each family.
It helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps.
It really does help. Who are you closest to at work these days?
If not Vernee, the young lady that plays Portia, Brooke. She was on Passions for a lot of years. We were married for 5 years on the show, and so we developed a wonderful platonic relationship. And now our characters have moved on, and we're still pretty close. There was a time where after work we would go eat and things like that. I don't really do those things now, but she's the closest one. And maybe the young lady, Tabiana Ali, she's a powerhouse. And, I care about her like my daughter. And so, that's just how that goes. I care about her well-being. Right now I'm trying to get her into investing in finances because that's my, why did I wait so late? And so I'm trying to,
mentoring is a real thing though.
But yes, it is.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
And I just want to tell her, just start now, forget about it. And when you're my age, you will thank me.
Yeah. What I love about you as well is you kind of told me a little bit about this, but on Soaps, we work and then we have time off, and you've used the time that you are not working to go back to school.
Yeah.
Film school, right?
Correct.
And you graduated summa cum laude, is that right?
I did.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much.
Well
thank you.
And you said you're teaching a little bit on the side.
Yeah. Well, my company, it's nothing big yet, but it's called Turnaround Productions, play off my last name. And, one of the its mission statement is it's never too late to turn it around. And so I bought my first, well, it was my second home, but I bought my home and I graduated from school at 50. And there were a couple of people in my class like, you're on TV. What are you doing this for? You don't, some people would say, you already won. What are you doing? But my mom was an academician, and mom had the doctorate and 4 masters and all this other stuff. And although her children were successful, my brother was a singer, famous singer in the 90s, and now I'm on GH, but we never lived up to mom's standard of academic excellence. And so when I started school, mama was still alive, and she was so proud. And yeah, so for me, it was I did it for mom, I did it for me, and it was always my little insecurity when people would say, what college did you go to? What's your degree in? And I'd say, oh, well, I never finished. So yeah, it was one of my sore spots. And so I wanted to address that. And every day I'm becoming more of the man I always wanted to be.
You're a pretty remarkable man.
Oh, well, thank you.
Truly. I haven't known you very long, but we've had some really nice conversations on and off camera.
So your mom didn't get to see you graduate?
Not in the flesh.
Not in the flesh.
Yeah, but in a weird way because
I'm sure she was with you though.
Yeah, she was in Washington State, and so in a weird way, I'm closer to mom now because she's with me everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Versus seeing her twice a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't worry. I was so worried about mom. In fact, I had bought a house in 2001, bigger than I needed, because I was going to move mom here to live with me. And she was like, I'm seeing all these people, honey, who are doing these shows with their son. We could do a show. So we were going to, mom wanted to do a podcast. Whatever, mom, whatever you want. Yeah. And so we were going to do that. And I thought she had the personality. She has more personality than me. And people loved her. In the soap world, I brought her to a lot of my events. I had a cruise we were talking about backstage. I did a cruise with some of the fans, and I brought my mom with me. And, she just loved it, and the fans loved her.
Yeah, it's a special experience, I think, for parents to see their kids thrive.
And when they've seen the struggle.
Yeah.
They've seen the struggle. And my brother said something like, he said, D, I have never seen anyone want and stick with something so long, because there were so many years where I didn't get the results. I thought I was going to move to LA. I'm sure everybody thinks that. I'm going to get there, mess around get an agent, and then I'll be on a TV show in a year or two, And it didn't happen that way.
Can we talk about what you did before?
Sure.
You were stand-in for, was it Criminal Minds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you tell the audience what exactly a stand-in is?
Sure. Well, to even go back before that, I was an extra first.
I did extra work too.
Yeah, we all did. I did. Oh my God.
Well, I was told don't ever do it because you'll never be seen as an actor. I rejected that. I took it as film school. I took it as a chance to learn the craft.
It was. You just watched all day.
Yeah. Or you could get caught up in conversation and free food.
Right.
That wasn't for me. I wanted to see how to hit the mark and everything that was Hollywood. So I was a nerd about that. Standing in is the next level up, more pay. Your SAG work, it's every day. You're attached to an actor. It helps if you look like your actor, but it's mainly about skin tone and height. Because I resembled my actor on Criminal Minds enough, I also got to do the doubling and the stunts. So I did that for 12 years.
Wow.
And that is, it's its own challenge. It's rewarding to some degree. but you're never the man, you're always, or the woman, you're always the person standing next to the person. I remember one day.
Shadow.
Yeah, I remember one day on set, we were watching rehearsal and I sneezed. Nothing. No problem. But 10 seconds later, the actor that I double sneezed, and you couldn't have imagined the napkins that came out and all the blessed shoes and people running to go get a piece of paper. And I thought, wow, the only difference is our job title. You know. So that was one of those things that was humbling, enlightening, and you know, you just learn I learned how to hold my power even in a subordinate position. And I think that I know that helped me moving forward. I don't care who I'm standing next to. I'm going to hold my peace and my power.
But also, I think we talked about this a little bit too, is just being ready for the success when it comes your way and recognizing that it doesn't change. Your importance is the same as everybody else in the space. You're no more important or less important.
Exactly. Yeah, it's this whole Hollywood thing is very, and I mentioned, you know, I was a little bit older when I got my contract, and I didn't understand why before, and now I do, and I'm glad, because I'm not sure I would have been around for 10 years. Yeah. You know, I just know my personality, and a younger me was a lot more hot-blooded, and so I'm not sure I could have dealt with what Hollywood is.
Yeah, I did extra work on Felicity, and there's 1 or 2 episodes where I was a classmate of hers, and I must have been seated somewhere close to her because I was heavily featured. So I have had so many jobs since then where somebody will say, "We saw your episode of Felicity, but by the time we tuned in, your scene must have passed." I'm like, no, that was it. Like, you didn't miss anything. That was just me in the background.
I worked as a stand-in before Criminal Minds. I was a stand-in on ER. And so I did that for about 3 years. And first for Eric LaSalle, and then it became for anyone black on the show. So it was a good, stable gig at Warner Brothers, close to my house at that time. It was just wonderful. And, you know, I learned a lot there as well. I forgot where I was going with that, but standing in is a great way to learn the business, lighting. In fact, when I went to school, it was almost like I had the cheat code because I had been standing in. So when we got to the lighting portion or to the camera portion, these were things I already knew.
Like on-set experience is
invaluable.
Yeah. So, but before you got here and you were thinking, I want to go to Hollywood, I'm going to become a success there. Like in your mind, when you would think about Hollywood, what did that look like to you?
You know, fast cars and women and, you know, parties and all of that. You know, I thought it was going to be that.
Exactly how it is, right?
No comment. I will say my loved ones were worried about me. You know, you get down there and you be careful. You know, it's you going to all them parties and stuff. I'm like, I'm really not, you know.
I never go to parties.
I never go to parties.
Especially now, yeah.
No one wants to go to parties.
No, it's not the thing anymore. No. But I did partake of the nightclub. And Sunset Strip used to be the cruise. Remember how that was? And
I had a brief period of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we caught it. I mean, it's gone.
We're
now.
the exact same age, so I don't know when you came, but we're the exact same age. So.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
aren't we?
I loved that about you. I just loved that I knew someone that was born the same year.
Yeah. Well, you have not changed.
You have not changed.
I had hair when you last saw me.
I know that, but I actually like you without hair.
Yeah, this might have been the look I should have went with all along.
I mean, no, you're strikingly handsome. I mean, everyone has said that, so I'm not alone.
Thank you.
I can say that. My husband's secure.
Yeah, you know, when you have hair, you fear going bald. You're like, how am I going to look? I'm going to look crazy. What if my head ain't shaped right? No, you've got
a perfect,
you got a good head.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, thank you. You know.
You do know not everybody can rock it. Not everybody can rock it.
I have one question for you that we try and ask all our guests. Why do you think people should be watching soaps right now?
Well, storyline. If you have a show like ours, you know, the writing department is a revolving door. But we got really, really good writers now. We got compelling storylines. The way they do it, I don't know how you weave 40 actors into, you know, storylines every day. But I've had guy friends tell me, you know, man, Donell, you got me watching soaps, man. You know, and the way it's written, I don't know how they do it, but they get you hooked. You can scroll through and you see something that catches your eye. When you watch when you turn there to commercial, you know, they get you hooked and you want to see what happens after the commercial break. Mm-hmm. And so that's a skill. So for people who still like drama and don't want a lot of CGI, you know, a lot of fake stuff, tune into soaps. Even if you like wrestling, WWE, you know, it's all a soap. And so now they have this thing called verticals that are happening, and those are based off of soaps, little micro dramas.
Yeah. Everything's kind of based off of soaps. I mean, nighttime dramas and things like that.
Well, I learned that they based Dallas and Knots Landing off of General Hospital.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
Because it was the first show that showed opulence and you know, except we could in soaps, it was left in the studio. So when it went to prime time, they could do the cars and they can do exterior shots. And so they could take it further than we could. And that's why they blew up.
Also, the way in which the shows, primetime soaps or daytime soaps, are aspirational, right?
Yes.
Like I remember my character was going through a tough time on Y&R, but they were still dressing me really nicely. And I was like, shouldn't I look a little rough around the edges right now? And they were like, no, because people are tuning in because they want to see you look nice, even if you're going through a hard time. And I was like, okay, I get that.
That's like when you say, I don't want to wear any makeup, and they're like,
Yeah.
Do you say that?
well, if I'm in a hospital bed.
I used to love...
now. I mean, when I was 20.
I used to love on all the Emmy reels, you know, when you have to watch the Emmy reels, I remember seeing Susan Lucci's more than once, and she'd be in the hospital or in jail looking like $1 million.
Yeah, hair, everything's perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
My character was in a wheelchair for 9 months last year, or maybe the year before. I can't remember.
Wow.
A little bit long time to be in a wheelchair. And I'd used that opportunity I didn't wear any jewelry, and I grew my beard out. And I thought that was fun.
That's fun.
Maybe one day I'll grow my hair out and see what that looks like. And, you know, but maybe I'll save that for a future
like this.
film.
I think you look great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm having fun. And it's low maintenance.
Okay, so we're doing something new where
okay, let's do it.
we have a couple of new
two
things.
things.
2 new things. Let's start with the...
Fan? No.
Sure. Start with we have a new hotline on our Instagram where fans can write in and ask a question of you. And I think we have a couple, don't we?
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Where's my... Okay. Have you ever pretended to be one of your characters in public for the day for fun?
You know, have I ever pretended to be Curtis in public? Is that what the question?
Yeah.
Well, no. And there's so much of Donell and Curtis.
I know.
So I don't know how to answer that. Curtis is the coolest part of me. I'm a little goofier than Curtis. And so there's a part of me that's like, in this moment, be more like Curtis. So I'm not saying I'm cosplaying out there, but, you know.
Subconsciously, he's poking through.
Yeah, I want to be the cooler version of me. I tell people all the time, how cool would you be if you knew what you were going to say already?
Oh, yeah. Right?
Right.
You knew the answer before the question.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So do you know the answer before this next question?
I wish.
Share something. Can you share something funny or chaotic that has happened on set that the fans would appreciate hearing about?
Funny or chaotic? Oh, God. I don't know if it's funny, but we were going down the stairs from the set one day. Being the gentleman I aspire to be, I was holding the door for everyone coming down the stairs, and I thought the gentleman behind me was going to grab the door, and he didn't. And so the door closed, and one of the actresses who played Jordan, Brianna, were you there when Brianna was there? Okay. She was the second Jordan. We're on our third now. She turned as the door was closing, bow, and she got lightheaded, had a big knot on her head, and she still had scenes.
Oh, no.
We were coming from rehearsal. So, yeah, I felt like trash on that one.
Aww.
I had held the door for
that was a simple mistake.
15 people, and then when I let it go,
I know that door.
Pow,
I know that stairwell.
Yeah. Felt like a heel.
Hey, it happens.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a funny story, but it's pretty
it's
chaotic.
chaotic.
It's okay. Someone wanted to know. Someone wanted to know. They got their answer. Okay, so then we had Jackie Harris on the show, and
I used to have a crush on her.
Oh, she's...
Oh, well.
She looks
Sandra.
just brilliant and just looks as good as she's ever looked. She's stunning and wonderful. But she was talking about how much she loves AI and Chat GPT. And so I was like, oh, well, then we should, I said, then we should ask her a question. We should have Chat GPT ask her a question. Goodness. And so then we're like, this is a good riff. Let's
Soon we're going to be replaced by computers because the questions are actually pretty good.
Guest.
So we're going to ask you, we asked Chat GPT what to ask you specifically. Oh, wow. Okay?
Okay, Chat.
Okay, so here we go. There's a couple that are really good, but I'm going to ask you this one. You've said martial arts shaped your discipline and career. Is that right?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay.
It helped.
What's one martial arts principle you never expected to apply to soap acting, yet now depend on daily? See? That's a really good question.
Thanks, Chat.
I mean,
I know.
Okay.
Thanks, Chat GPT.
I
hate how good a question that is.
I know.
Fantastic.
We're going to be replaced.
It's the very word discipline. I think that's, it's an all-encompassing word, and I don't know how to separate what you learn in the martial arts discipline from your professional discipline. So what I'm saying is you learn patience, and there's just a lot of things. It's like playing team sports. You learn how to be a team player, things like that. So work well with others and things like that. Mm-hmm. I've learned self-confidence. Martial arts, more than anything, gives you self-confidence. Mm-hmm. And so, and then you learn self-control. And I think all of these things help as an actor and as a person.
That's a good segue into this next Chat GPT question. And then I'll see myself out because these are too good. But, so as a semi-professional basketball player and a martial artist, that clearly helped you develop the physical skills. But can you talk about the experience of having to hone the emotional skill needed to be an actor, and if that was challenging for you in any way?
A lot of that I've learned has come from experience. And because I've lived a full life, it was easy for me, or it's easier for me to draw from those experiences. My harsh beginnings, or maybe not harsh, but rough beginnings in Chicago. Even down to something as, my fourth grade teacher ran over my dog. Yeah, Miss Walden hit Bandit.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I'm still mad about that. She had a yellow, it was, early 80s. She had a yellow VW bug, and she ran over Bandit.
This is when you moved to California?
I had just moved to Cali. I was up in Redding, California, and Miss Walden hit Bandit. So I learned heartbreak early on. And there's the little things that you just kind of put in your pocket or, until you need it.
Yeah.
And so I think experience, and again, I signed my contract, I was 42. So I was already a dad. Yeah. I already had my checkered past. I was, I don't know if you know this about me, but I was a knucklehead. So I was in and out of jail in my early 20s.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Better part of 2 years.
Wow.
In and out.
You told me a little bit. Mm-hmm. You told me when we would talk in our dressing room.
Yeah. And my mom used to say, don't tell anybody that stuff. I said, Mom, this is my story. I mean, if anything, it'll encourage and inspire people who are in that situation in their life. It's never too late to turn it around.
Do you mind my asking what put you in those circumstances?
Man, murder, brother. No, I'm just playing.
I will see myself out.
Okay. No, it was stupid stuff that, a 19-year-old who thinks he's smarter than the system would do. So it started with, I got a DUI, open container. I wasn't faded. It was an open container. But, they felt the need to send me to jail. And then from there it was white collar stuff, but I used to fight a lot in clubs and bars and stuff like that. So, it wasn't anything domestic or anything, salacious. I'm not registered nowhere.
Sure.
It was knucklehead stuff, trying to pass a bad check to get, Domino's pizzas,
But enough to go on a record to have you have to fight that.
And then once you miss court dates, and then now you got a failure to appear. Yeah. And then now there's a warrant, and there was one time where they actually came to my house to get me.
Yeah.
And they have to warn all your neighbors first. And then the guys come up looking like the Beach Boys. They got these shirts and button-up shirts and a fanny pack, and they just look like everyday people. And you answer the door like, what? And while your hand is still on the door, they cuff you, and they got a picture of you, and they're like, yep, it's him. And my buddy was at the house. He had a warrant, so they took him too. Oh my God. Yeah, it was. And at that time, my daughter was couple months old.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Do you talk about this when you're doing your motivational speaking? Because
sometimes, absolutely.
Because you do some motivational
absolutely,
speaking,
yeah. Speak to the high school kids. It's always a privilege.
What do you speak to them about? What do you speak
It's
to? What do you do?
never too late to turn it around.
Yeah.
Your direction is more important than your location. And I think people need to know that. Because a lot of times you hear, well, where I'm from, I don't care where you're from. Yeah. Your location does not determine your direction.
I also love learning, like, you're not the worst thing you do.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of people want to define other people by the worst thing they do.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to make mistakes, and we're supposed to learn from them.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're flawed. We're flawed. And, but we don't wallow in that, right? We strive to be better. In my dressing room to this day, from day one, there's this piece of paper that I have about don't get too comfortable. And it's been in my bedroom forever, and then I put it into my dressing room, and it's still there. I've taken a lot of the pictures down, but I leave this up. And one of the things it says in there, and I have it highlighted on that piece of paper, which is now in a plaque, it's we should be defined by the best that's in us and not the worst that's been done to us.
I love that.
Yeah.
We should be defined
by the best that's in us.
That's in us.
And a lot of people are like, oh, you don't know where I come from. I've been here. I've done, I've been to jail. I've been in. Okay, but does that define you?
Yeah.
Right.
So I will say this till the cows come home, but it's never too late to turn it around.
Yeah.
Do you want to do more of that?
Motivational speaking?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do believe, much as my mother was, she was a teacher. Mm-hmm. And I think there's some of that in me as well.
That's so amazing.
Well, I certainly learned a bit today.
Thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Is that it? We're done?
Well, it's been a long time. It's been like almost an hour, I think.
This time.
Did I talk too much?
If you want to catch Donnell Turner as Curtis Ashford on General Hospital, you can catch him daily on ABC.
And you can watch this episode as well as all episodes of Soapy on the CBS YouTube channel, or you can listen to us wherever you get your podcast. And we may be done with you for now, but you'll have to come on back.
I would love to. You guys are beautiful, and thank you. Love this, and I wish you both
I'm so happy
success.
to see you.
Right back at you.